All right, guys. Hey, welcome to the show Movers and Shakers. I'm here with Lynn, and we are going to talk. It's a little bit more serious this time. This show, I know usually you see me in like a goofy hat or like colonial wear or like playing with power tools
goggles,
or whatever.
There's been goggles.
We've had goggles. Yeah. So we're not going to. Although related to that, I am going to take a moment and thank a sponsor that's making this episode possible. So Leveled is an app that you can rent power tools, or if you have tools laying around your house, you can actually rent those out on the Leveled platform. So Leveled is the company making this video possible, so we appreciate them. And so let's get right to it. I know it'll be a little bit more serious, but we'll have fun. We'll do all of our things. So introduce yourself. I want them to know who you are and like just tell us your background real quick, like where you're from, how you found yourself in Mobile, and we'll go through the whole gauntlet of how like we connected and everything that you're doing and everything. But just start off and we'll go from there.
So I'm Lynn Oldshue, and it started off for me, I identify with the Mississippi Delta. That's where I grew up. My dad was a catfish farmer, so I grew up working on catfish farms every summer. So that's kind of the start of it. My family owned newspapers in Mississippi. They were once called the most racist newspapers in the country, but then by the time they sold them, they won a Pulitzer. So so somehow all that comes into this. And I always dreamed of being a writer. It was always from my kid, and I would write stories about animals on our farm, and I was like, these are terrible. But writing was always the dream, even from that. And I guess coming from the families I come from. Yeah. So somehow all that kind of led to here.
And so speaking of writing, that's how I originally connected with you, was through a magazine that you were called The Southern Rambler, which was covering like art and music and culture, right? Correct. And so that's how we originally met. And that was a number of years ago, maybe, I don't know. We said about 6 years ago.
Yeah,
we were thinking approximately.
Well, Michelle Stansel and I started it. I wanted to find a writing project. I'd taken Rick Bragg's writing class in Tuscaloosa when we lived there. I thought, oh my gosh, that's what I want to do with my life. And he said, you can do it. It's like, okay. So I applied to write for magazines and stuff, and like got shot down everywhere. It's like, okay, well, I'll just start my own. And Kathy Steele, who has the Frog Pond, introduced Michelle and me because Michelle was wanting to become a photographer. So we were these two moms trying to figure out how to do these passions we had. Cool. So Kathy set us up, and of course Michelle and I fell in love. And
so that's how y'all originally got connected.
Yeah,
was through that magazine.
Cool. And like we were just trying to figure it out if this is what we wanted to do with our lives, and how do we do it? Yeah. And so we just kind of started doing it on our own. Yeah.
And that's like, and we were talking earlier about how everything we do, or you do, or I guess us as kind of like creatives, like everything morphs to the next project, and everything is connected. And like and we're gonna get to kind of some stuff that you're doing right now, but like maybe what you're doing right now wouldn't happen if it weren't for the connectors of everything that's kind of led up to now. And I think that's so amazing. I think that's really cool personally. But like, so I'm just gonna read some of the stuff that I know that you do, and we'll talk about them. So like, I was connected to you through Southern Rambler, through the magazine. Right. I know there's a Facebook group called A Day in the Life of Mobile. Yes. Which is cool. And if no one knows that, they can check it out. But it's literally like photo snaps of what people see. Like, this is literally a day in the life of Mobile.
And just show me what it looks like from your point of view today. And sometimes we have like photo days. I need to do one soon of like, take a picture wherever you are today, and let's just see what July 4th in Mobile looks like from wherever your perspective is. Yeah.
I think it's cool. So I invite you guys to check that out. You can look it up. It's on Facebook.
Yeah, so it's a Facebook group,
Another one on Facebook is, and I think you were the originator of this, I think Community of Mobile. Yes. Is that you as well?
Yes.
So okay. Yeah. And I know that is literally about like the needs, like serving needs. What I've seen some of the stuff in there, and it's amazing of what.
Well, I don't mean it's spun out of our Southern Souls, because I was doing interviews with people who were just doing these amazing community service. I mean, and like I didn't know about them, and so like, how do we create this narrative in our community of compassion and caring and serving and making it easy? These are what the needs are.
Yeah. So that's another one to check out. Community Mobile. So you mentioned our Southern Souls, which is the one that I'm like. That's my favorite project, probably of yours. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're biased. I don't know if you're
I
like,
get
hey, this is
goosebumps
okay.
just talking about. I mean, just saying the words "Our Southern Soul."
So I kind of too. Actually, that's funny. Probably because you got goosebumps. I got goosebumps. But like, so that is you literally connecting with strangers,
Right.
complete strangers that you find your way up to. And so one thing I want to talk to you about is like, how does that happen? But anyway, but you connect with a stranger and you interview them, you talk to them, you find out about them, and then you can. There's a picture of them, and you write kind of like their info. And usually, there's not like names attached.
No, it's.
I don't know if that's on purpose or if that it's just like there's quotes from y'all's conversation, and it's
their story
amazing.
and their words, not anything. I don't add anything to it. That's what they've told me directly.
So my first question on that is, and I've got some samples that like are some of my favorite. But what was the inspiration for Our Southern Souls?
Okay.
Is like question number 1.
Well, I mean, like you said, everything ties back. We talked about Jenna Inge earlier on off conversation. Got to be friends with Jenna, who said I need to do a story on Vincent Lawson, who is a photographer in Mobile who does pictures of the homeless. I had no clue about the homeless. It was not a problem in my life. I was focused on art and music,
right?
And all the beautiful stuff. And I did a interview with Vincent, and it broke my heart. And from then on, I was like, okay, Vincent, how can I work with you on something? So we did a story on the bus riders and rode the bus for months.
Yeah.
And I thought these people, I mean, here's this 6-foot-tall redheaded white woman coming on this bus. They're never going to accept me. I had so many walls and was so scared of it the first day of walking on the bus.
Yeah.
I've never done it. And the community and the compassion and how they took me in. But it was people trying to get to work, trying to go to dialysis, cancer. It was survival for them.
Yeah.
It was going to the grocery store. It was everything. Their life depended on that bus. And some of them rode their bike for miles to get to the bus on a very unreliable bus schedule and hard to ride it. It's public transportation in Mobile is not easy.
Right.
And just for these people to start telling their stories, and they were so glad to have somebody that cared and to have a voice and to know that their life made a difference. And that totally changed. I mean, that shook everything up in my world.
So is that like how it started for you? So that's how interviewing strangers began, was the bus project, which was already like a leap of faith for you to like hop on a bus. Okay, so
and the fact that I could sit next to a stranger on a bus and they tell me about your life and why are you here and how did you get here, and they would just open up and tell me and how grateful they were to have somebody listen. It's the easiest thing in the world to sit there listening. And so,
is it hard to, so like I consider myself a decently like outgoing person or whatever. And I think, I want to say you even at one point challenged people to like go out and talk to a stranger and do whatever. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. And I don't think I did.
Was it hard? Or even thinking about it? I mean, was it hard to even get going?
Yeah.
It was totally out of people's comfort zone.
So yeah, was it really difficult at first? Has it gotten easier for you? Is it still hard to just like walk up to people and be like, hey, what's your pitch? Like, what's your line? Like, so if people want to go chat with people, like what's your,
I'm embarrassed at how easy it is. I wish there was a smoother way. It was hard. I thought there's no way people are going to play with me. They're going to say no. I'm going to get shot down. So you're just prepared for rejection. I've been stunned. I've done this 1,252 times. Maybe 40 people have told me no. And I've done it in different countries. I've done it in different languages. I mean, like I've had translators. Everybody just wants to know their life matters.
So what do you, hey, how are you?
So I see them there.
Let's role play this.
Okay. Yeah. So you're sitting there wherever you are. Downtown Mobile is a great place. Also, the pier in Fairhope is a very...
I've seen a number of your photos.
Oh, it's a great place. So walk up and just say, hey, I've got a crazy question for you.
Okay.
And like, here's this stranger walking up out of the blue.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And then, so I tell them about, the world is a crazy place. The news is awful. It's scary. But these stories are what's important, lives that matter, and understanding what's going on in your life and just the beauty of that. And I'm much smoother. I'm nervous saying it now. But then I pull up souls.
That make you nervous.
No, I am. It is kind of nervous. I was thinking, man, does it sound stupid to people but for me, but it's such an intimate connection immediately of your life matters and what you're going through. I mean, the news and all that's so negative. This is the good stuff on the ground and what people go through. And then surprisingly, you watch their eyes light up for a second and like they're in. And it's the best feeling. And then I show them souls so they know what it is. They see the pictures. They see the stories. I tell them anything they don't want to say is off the record.
Okay.
And I take their picture at the end. They see their picture. They approve it all.
Yeah.
And
So what are you showing them, like, your Instagram account, or what are
no,
you
just
showing
pull up on Facebook, just the
on Facebook?
website. The
On the
website.
website.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
so you're
just
like,
scroll
"Hey,
down.
this is what I do. This is
Mhm.
how this works."
Mhm.
Cool. So how do you, when they're kinda sharing with you, do you
Mhm.
record it? Or are you writing? I've always wanted that.
No, I
Like, how
record
do
it. I
you
record
record it?
everything. Yeah, on my phone. There's voice
Okay,
memos.
so you just record a voice memo,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, you can use any of that." And then
Yes.
you take the
Mhm.
quotes out of what they say, and you're
Transcribe it, and it pretty
okay.
much all goes in. I'm kind of overprotective because sometimes I realize it's kind of like therapy for people, and you start talking, and maybe you share too much.
Yeah,
So I kind of filter that out
I
some.
got you. If there's stuff they say that you're like, they
Yeah,
may not want
their
this.
mama may be mad at them for saying that. So I have a mama filter on. I want mama to be proud. So.
Yeah, like,
Mhm.
let me not put that one out.
But it
Dadgum, you have
is.
1,000. So hold on, I had
Yeah. Good luck.
well, no, I just had the, like, one that I specifically 2
But just
specifically I
think
wanted to
about
read.
that, like, to all the people that have affected my life, their stories have become part of my story. I
Yeah,
mean, just think of how many people you meet in a day or how many strangers you walk across.
yeah. So one, and I saw him earlier. One is the gentleman who I had seen a number of times. I took a I think my own picture video because I was so amazed by him
Uh-huh.
downtown kicking a soccer ball, dribbling.
Oh,
That
yeah.
as
Rob
far as
Vermont, yes.
maybe he still does it.
Um,
Um, I didn't know his story, right? Like, so his
right,
wife had just passed away
right,
from cancer,
right,
and, like, I wouldn't have known that had you not
right,
talk to him and
right,
capture the story. I just saw a guy kicking the ball. I'm like, this guy's
right,
amazing juggler. He's just walking down the street with headphones on, not
right.
talking. He's
Mhm,
focusing on the ball,
mhm,
and he told you why. He's like,
right,
well, I have to focus on this. This is to
right,
get my mind off of that.
right,
And my wife just passed away, and I actually I think taking a video snippet like the rundown
right,
had a video snippet of him and posted it. And he's like, hey, that's me. And
right.
I was like, yeah, I was kind of like nervous to talk to you. He's like, no, 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 like talk to me anytime. And so like I think it's
Yeah.
really cool that you covered that.
And happy part 2, he just got engaged.
Did he
Yeah,
really?
he's engaged.
How cool!
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
that was, I
amazing.
mean, it's hard because it's so raw and emotional. And
Right.
like, I went and cried. Like, I walked around the block after talking to him because he was just loved Leslie so much.
Yeah.
And for me, like, you don't know what their story is. And it's like,
Yeah.
and just the power of that and like focusing on that ball just to take away the pain, just not to focus on the pain for a while.
Yeah.
It was.
Um, that's crazy. And
Mhm.
so here's one that I had read before,
Right.
and I don't even know if you right. I mean, there's
Uh-huh.
1,000, so I don't know if you
Uh-huh.
instantly recognize
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guy.
yeah, of course.
But I think I laughed at this one.
Yes.
So I'll just read just a quick snippet from it.
Right.
So I'm skipping the first section. I don't even know what he says. So he went to Korea. So
Right.
I left Mobile when Mama sent me downtown and to pay a light bill. I lived on Royal Street and saw the flag that said, "Come on in and join the army." So I went in and joined, and they shipped me out that day. I never did pay the light bill. I called her 6 months later from Korea. She said, "Where the hell are you? You didn't pay my light bill. What the hell are you doing in Korea?" I didn't graduate from high school, and she told me if I went back, she would go with me. We both graduated and got our diploma together. She made A's and B's, I made C's and D's. She sat up front, and I sat in the back. I wanted to hang out with my friends and play hooky, but I had to go to school because she was in my class. Everybody teased me, "How's your mama making better grades than you?" She went home and hit the books, and I went out the back door to chase girls. She rubbed it in. If it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't have gone back. We spoil her rotten now. I have breakfast with her at least 4 times a week. All of my brothers do that. We were in the kitchen every morning laughing and talking and putting a smile on her face. She calls everyone Sweet Pea, but if she calls you by your name, you know you're in trouble. Sometimes Mama's wrong, but we let her be right.
Yeah.
And I just remember reading that being like, holy smokes, this guy's story is amazing, you
And
know?
it's just the people you want
Um,
every day. So part 2 of him, like he's the only person I've ever interviewed twice, and it was an
Are you
accident.
serious?
But it was
Okay.
the best accident because he told me about volunteering at the VA center
Yeah.
and how he goes and volunteers there and makes veterans happy. It was this beautiful part 2 of he just is this, clearly a cut up, and how he just loves making veterans laugh
How
and taking
cool.
them.
So is he on here? Will I find
He'll
him if I keep
be
reading?
he'll be 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay,
I'm trying to
cool.
remember his name.
So if people are our Southern Soul, so you
Right.
can website. There's a
Right,
website. I
mhm.
mean, how do you want people to follow that? How do they want?
Facebook, it's Facebook or oursouthernSouls.com. It's
Okay.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
So like I'm looking at
Uh-huh.
Instagram right now,
Right.
but on Facebook, Our Southern Souls or
so
the
the
website.
Instagram will get the shorter story because usually
Okay.
like the long ones can't go on there, so you're kind of missing part of the story on Instagram. But I try to adjust for that.
But I think it's awesome. What you do on
Mhm.
Instagram, I think, is really cool.
Mhm.
So okay, so if you, it's kind of like full story
Yeah,
on.
Facebook and the website.
Okay.
Yeah, because some of the stories are pretty.
Cool.
But it's neat. Like the other day, I was at the park, and there's a woman playing with her son, and then I went and did souls with her. Turns out that she had gotten pregnant in high school, had 3 kids on her own. One of them had cancer. She was living in public housing. She was on welfare and food stamps, and she hit rock bottom. And she made a vision board and put being a nurse, having a house, having a husband who had a job, and a bank account. And she had this vision board. And so every morning she started with the vision board. And I think she got a tax refund. And so she used the tax refund to pay for a nanny. She got a white nanny to take. She's a black woman. She got a white nanny. And she said this one, and she said, you know, we would always get looks, but this woman, the white nanny was like, this woman, even the time she ran out of money, the nanny would always come take care of her kids. So she went back to school, got her RN, and totally changed her life. And then she met her husband. They got married a year ago.
Okay.
And like now they've got new vision boards.
Cool.
But she was just out there playing with the kid at the park. It's like, oh my gosh, inspiration's everywhere.
Yeah. And had you not like said hello, like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
crazy question for you, or however you started, like, then you wouldn't have captured that story. Like, no one would know that story, and you're able to share that with other people. Why do you do all that? Like, what's your reason behind doing all that?
I love people and their stories, and I mean, if I had zero anything, and threw me somewhere a different part of the world, this is what I would want to do. That's where
Cool.
life is, and that's where everything, and that's where I don't know, it's all the good, and getting to love on them every day. I get to love on somebody new, and then what I get out from them, and they changed my life.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, a lot of times that happens, right?
But yeah, and the other thing I love about souls, and I try not to touch it too much, 'cause it's like about the butterfly wing, but it's the audience of souls. I mean, it's like up to 14,000 now. I looked at today just to figure out, but the community there, the way they support people, like I know I throw hard stories at them now, and I don't worry about it because they can take it. And they look at the human side of people. They may not agree with what they say. They not agree with their lifestyle. They may question a choice, but they're going to love on those people. It's so supportive in this toxic, social media world. Souls is this oasis, and I'm so grateful for every person that's in there loving on these people, like supporting them and giving them encouragement. Like all the comments are this beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, and their lives have been touched by these people who are brave enough to share it.
Do you have to like police that, or is it just
No?
It just brings out
There
like
was only
good
one.
in people.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Cool.
only one time, and it was like a political comment, and like it was just one, and there's only one.
There's always one.
But there's one story of all of the ones we've done, and like they were on it quick. Of no, this is not that space.
Gotcha.
And they were so protective, like don't bring that in here.
That's
and
cool.
I was so proud.
That's
like,
cool.
I didn't have to do anything. So yeah.
So related to like that's writing, and then so lately you have done a giant piece in Lagniappe, right? So a multi-series about sex trafficking. That is you've helped expose that it's a much larger problem than people know. And I know that there's some organizations that like talk about it, and I got kind of versed in it a bit, but you've really like put a light on it through this writing, which is amazing. And
it feels good. Like you first texted me, or we talked about doing this, and I was drowning in the story, and I told you I couldn't do it because I'm trying to figure the story out.
Right.
And I thought, I just hope I get to the point where I've survived the story and we can sit here and say, like, for me, this is good to,
exactly.
to have made it through the other side, because it's been a hard, deep dive, and but then also like there's this light and this hope and this great. I mean, like the women who've talked to me in these stories. But it started with John Young. I was taking pictures of him like on a random thing in Mobile for Faces of Mobile, and he started talking to me about violence and black men shooting black women. And he's like, "You're a writer. Do something about it." It's like, "Ooh, I'm not that kind of writer."
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle
that's way out of my. I don't write that stuff.
Yeah.
But then I thought, if he cares that much, and so I did the series on domestic violence, and then it led to meeting Crystal at the Rose Center. And like I knew nothing about sex trafficking, and then she started saying, "Oh yeah, it happens here."
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it's the same reaction. I had the same reaction everybody else does. Of like, it's foreign people coming in or something.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. It does. And so then just talking to the survivors and them bearing their souls and their pain and their hell, just to help somebody else. I have found God in that all the time, and they're so strong, and what they went through, just so they can share these stories and let us know what's happening.
And so, if people picked up a Lagniappe, they can read.
Right.
And these are the most recent. By the time this comes out, these
Right.
would have already been come and gone.
Right.
But where could people go to
Lagniappe online? They'll all
Yep.
be online. It's a 5-part series. I
Mhm.
think 6 stories, and so yes, it's there.
Cool. Very cool. Lynn, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. So if the folks want to connect with you,
Right.
what are the best ways to do that? Let's connect them to all of
Right.
your platforms, all of your ways.
Our Southern Souls is a website at oursouthernSouls.com, and a Facebook page, and on Instagram. And then there's Community of Mobile and Faces of Mobile and A Day in the Life of Mobile. Clearly, I love this city.
Join them all.
Oh my gosh!
Join them all.
Yeah, I mean,
is
it's
everyone
all fun.
welcome to join those groups?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
yes. So join those, and please read the Lagniappe series. It's online. You have to subscribe or get the papers, but you will be moved by these survivors and their stories, and you'll see the world in a different way.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for
doing
coming.
this.
And as we always do, we have a high five on the way out.
All right.
Yeah, cool. Enjoyed it.
Me too.
Heck yeah, Lynn. Cool.